There is power in an organization's brand. It tells the community who you are and often what you hope for them. Well, you're familiar with the Advent Health brand. You're familiar with our icon that has the cross embedded at the center. And you're familiar with the two words we often put with our brand, the words feel whole. This brand tagline is meant to express in the shortest possible way what we hope for those we serve. We hope they experience wholeness when they come in contact with Advent Health. So where does this desire come from, this intention? You're familiar with the mission of Advent Health, extending the healing ministry of Christ. Christ's mission here on this earth was defined by wholeness. John 10:10 tells us that he came that people may have life and have it more abundantly. His interactions with people were punctuated by this desire that they felt whole based on the interactions with him. Well, our pioneers picked up this theme in 1866. They had a desire to continue to deliver on that message of wholeness. We should have institutions that are designed to alleviate the problems of disease and suffering, as well as helping people live into the fullest version of their life. That's what wholeness means for us. Now, these wholeness moments can happen in a variety of settings. They happen in our ERs, in our ICUs. They happen in our urgent cares. They happen in our doctor's offices. But what's so powerful about our pursuit of wholeness for those we serve is that it can happen anywhere. When have you had a wholeness moment? I had one not too long ago that I want to share with you. My father had been sick for a while. He passed away a year and a half ago. He was 93 years old, and his last 3 years were really defined by the best that medicine has to offer. He saw a lot of doctors, a lot of appointments, trips to the ER, admissions in and out of the hospital. He had been on the healthcare treadmill for the last 3 years of his life. He received excellent care, but we had received the news from his physician that modern medicine had done what was possible to do for my father. It was now time to think about the next stage of care. So my sister, who was the quarterback of my dad's healthcare team, arranged for a hospice visit. So I was expecting the next, level of care to kind of look like what had gone before. So we all gathered at my father's house. Matter of fact, I have a picture of that wholeness moment. And we were prepared for what the next moment would be. I was kind of expecting the same level of intensity. You know how these things go. A review of systems, an intake form, all the things that go into an initial visit. Well, our hospice nurse walked in, and we were all gathered around the table, as you see here in the picture. And her first question was not about my dad's clinical condition. She looked at us and said, "How are you doing?" Then she went on to say, "I noticed some pictures coming in down the hallway. Mr. Banks, my dad, it looks like you have grandkids. Tell me about them." Now, this must be Mrs. Banks. That's my mom there in the red. "How long have you and Mrs. Banks been married? Now, tell me about who else is here in the room with you." Well, in the room were my sisters. There's 5 of us in our family. And we spent the next 40 minutes or so talking about my dad as a husband, a father, a grandfather, a great-grandfather, and what was going to happen next. You could feel the fatigue and the stress of the last 3 years evaporate. That was a wholeness moment for us. We were no longer in the intensity of the healthcare system, which had been amazing and had prolonged my dad's life. Now we had moved into the next phase, and that phase was punctuated with a moment of wholeness, delivered by a caregiver who understood the value of a conversation, of seeing people. Sometimes the health system on the acute side, it's sometimes hard to see people because of the intensity. She paused and made sure that my dad was seen, my mom was seen, and that the story of the family, not my dad's clinical condition, but the story of the family moved to the front. I cannot tell you how nourishing that moment was. What's amazing about wholeness moments is they don't have to be long-term moments. It can happen literally in the context of a brief conversation. Being seen, being validated, being connected to the things that matter most. When you think of Christ's ministry, his ministry was punctuated by these kinds of moments. What I'm excited about when I think about Advent Health and I think about our tagline, Feel Whole, sometimes healthcare is tough, and it's easy to get cynical about the pace of healthcare. But when I think about what we get to do at Advent Health, deliver world-class healthcare that remedies today's problem and help people find wholeness in other moments of their life, is that possible for us in Advent Health in 2023? Yes, absolutely.